Jorge Masvidal lost $100,000 betting on Dustin Poirier at UFC 291. Masvidal was openly rooting for Poirier to win his bout against Gaethje. But it turns out he also suffered a big loss of his own, thanks to Gaethje's knockout. Masvidal claims he bet money on Dustin Poirier to win the BMF belt, and here is what he had to say. "I'm making wagers that I probably shouldn't. I put $100,000 on Dustin Poirier. Kids, I'm sorry, you've got to go to public school now." All jokes aside, Masvidal congratulated Gaethje on a job well done after he knocked out Poirier with a spectacular head kick. While Masvidal may have taken a hit to his bank account as a result of the fight, he thought his friend did very well and was dictating the pace in the first round. He mentioned to see Poirier lose definitely stung him more than the six-figure wager gone wrong. "I'm just hurt," Masvidal said. "I wanted my boy to get that belt." Tony Ferguson's eye poke accusation at UFC 291. Bobby Green submitted Tony Ferguson in the third round of their bout at UFC 291. Ferguson went to social media and has blamed his performance on the eye poke received from Green, and the fighter is saying it was intentional. Green said it bothers him that the postscript about this past Saturday's fight is not about his performance. On an interview with Ariel Helwani on the MMA Hour, the fighter said, "If you argue with a crazy man, you're probably crazy. So, I'm not going to argue with him. On one side of it is, he thinks I'm intentionally trying to do this for this fight, so I'm not going to argue with him on that aspect. He's crazy with that, but you can't argue with crazy. The other part of the side of it, I feel like I'm sad, and I'm sad because it's a mark on my body of work. It's sad because it means that he thinks that it would go differently." Green pointed out a headbutt and several illegal glove holds from Ferguson during the fight. He went along to say he would never intentionally cheat in a fight. "I don't need to cheat, no guys. My skills pay the bills. Trust me, I rely on skills. I don't rely on athletics, or I don't rely on this and that, the skills and this, a lot of things that you guys don't understand is happening. And so I feel bad, because I did do the eye poke, I felt bad that it happened." Green explained that the eye poke was an unfortunate byproduct of rapidly changing distances during the fight. He believes he defeated Ferguson, and would do so even more decisively if they have to meet again. What do you think? Should they fight again, or should Bobby Green move on? And should MMA referees deduct points more often, so fighters don't obstruct the rules? Kelvin Gastelum out of fight with Shavkat Rakhmonov in September. The fighter was set to face Rakhmonov in the co-main event of the upcoming UFC Fight Night 227. This card is set to take place in Las Vegas on September 16th. Gastelum received an elbow in training that resulted in an open fracture, forcing him out of his scheduled fight against Shavkat Rakhmonov. The athlete went on social media to apologize to his fans, saying he hopes the bout will be rebooked for later this year. Rakhmonov doesn't seem to be too happy with this development because the fighter has struggled to find a worthy opponent willing to fight him recently. The fighter from Kazakhstan has been campaigning for their bout to be rescheduled for the upcoming UFC 294 card in Abu Dhabi, where the fighter will have the crowd in his favor. Here's what he had to say. "I agreed to fight you on your territory on Mexican Independence Day, in an arena full of your supporters, and it's not my problem you can't do it now. It's your turn to accept to fight me on my territory in Abu Dhabi at UFC 294. Or did you realize it was a bad idea just now? There is no official word at this time on when or if the fight will be rescheduled. What do you think? Should the UFC reschedule this fight? And who do you think wins this matchup?" Bloody action fight inside the UFC Apex for TUF 31. On episode 10 of TUF 31, with Team McGregor only having one fighter in the semifinals, Brad Katona decided to say farewell to Team Chandler and moved to Team McGregor to train alongside his teammate and coaches from his home gym, SBG in Ireland. Katona emerged as the winner of TUF 27, competing at featherweight. Now the fighter has the chance to become the first ever two-time winner of the competition, after advancing to the TUF 31 bantamweight final with a split decision win over Timur Valiev. Katona's win gave Conor McGregor something to celebrate after the coach lost 7 out of 8 bouts in the preliminary fights. Next week will determine the other lightweight finalist. Team Chandler fighters, Jason Knight and Kerr Hollowball will face off. The winner goes on to fight Austin Hubbard in the lightweight finale.